Hi, my name is Gary Taylor, and today I want to talk about ReactRouter, the new version, which is version 4 point something at this time of recording, from the amazing guys at React Training. Over on the GitHub repository, you can see there's quite a few stars now, so it's doing quite well, the ReactRouter. And just to tell you, there's a direct correlation between people installing React and ReactRouter, and it's one of the most popular downloads for the React ecosystem there is. That includes other amazing tools like Redux. However, there is a slight problem with ReactRouter in that it doesn't integrate out of the box with Redux. Now, there are a few implementations on the web that do this, but I've found them to be quite chunky and quite difficult to understand. I'm a simple person at heart and I like simple solutions. I don't like to come back to some code 6 months later and have to think, what what is going on? So I've invented and created a little app called TrippleR. No, that's not a typo, it's on purpose because I was drinking as I was making it. And this is an integration that combines the three R's: React, ReactRouter, and Redux. And it is incredibly simple. In fact, it's so simple that I'm hoping within a 5 to 10 minute video, I can actually get it integrated and implemented in an example Redux website that I've got. So I've headed up to a sample example website that I've set up, which is using Redux. And I've just got a store, and the store is incredibly simple. But what we want to do is we want to actually get ReactRouter in here in the first place. Because at the moment we don't even have ReactRouter. So I'm going to import this stuff here. If you're not used to this type of routing, don't worry. This type of import, it's just the new ES16 stuff, and I highly recommend you learn it. Now we've got the router, what we need to do to get this to work is we need to wrap everything in a router so that it's able to control it. Now don't worry, that doesn't mean that you have to start nesting your routes in here like you had to do previously. It's all a hell of a lot easier now in version 4. Next, I'm going to include TrippleR. It's obviously got to be lowercase, as all NPMs are these days. And with this, we now have a component that we can actually put into our application here. So now we've got a React router, we've got our own code, we've placed in the TrippleR component, which will allow it to navigate, and we've finished it off here. The next step is to update the store because we need information in the store about where you're navigating to and from. There's also some stuff that needs to be reset as you're navigating about. So what we need to do is we need to put in some middleware and a reducer in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the store, and I'm just going to get the middleware, and I need to import the ReactRouter, TrippleR's middleware. And now I've got that, just need to apply this middleware. Nothing here is unique to TrippleR. It literally is just Redux stuff. So if you know Redux, actually, you know exactly what it is that I'm doing here. Just needing to apply some custom middleware that allows happy defaults to be reset. There are some things that happen in the background with TrippleR that need to be reset once you've navigated, and it's the middleware that allows this to happen. Now that we've got the middleware set up, it's time to actually put the TrippleR's reducer in. This has got some information in there that is used to store where you're navigating to, from, and to also reset what I call happy defaults. So we've got the TrippleR reducer. We're just going to put it into our returned reducers, which is then going to go in as combined reducers. One thing to note is that it must be called TrippleR, which is RRR. If you call that anything else currently, the system won't work because the code is actually hard coded to look for the RRR um, reducer. Because we're using combined reducers, you should know this already if you're using Redux, but as you use combined reducers, it kind of puts each reducer into its own folder, if you like. So you go into a folder and then you look at the data within it. So what would happen here is that it would go into a folder called TrippleR and then try and get any properties out of that. And that's how it stores stuff in your state. Really cool. You're not using combined reducers. I highly recommend you do so. And that's it. The setup is done. That is all it takes to set up TrippleR. Import the component displayed on the screen, then apply some middleware using apply middleware, and it's just the RRR middleware, TrippleR. And then in reducer, we just need to include the TrippleR reducer and make sure that it's called TrippleR RRR. Sound like a seal? So now that's done, everything should be configured. You should now have it fully up and running. Obviously, make sure you save your changes. It's handy. I've done that quite a few times. The next step is to show you how to actually navigate somewhere. Within this application, I have the main component, if you like, which is called app. And in app, we've just got a very simple website that's got some pattern matching, which allows you to show different pages. So the home, about us, and contact us when we go to these URLs, and a navigation menu. So if we go into the navigation, we can see that it's very simple. We're just using ReactRouter link. So when they click on it, we go to these pages. Unfortunately, none of this will actually hook up into Redux, so none of this will find its way into state. I'll do another video that explains why that's bad, but you obviously come here to look at it so you know the reasons. So what I want to do is I want to implement TrippleR into this. Now TrippleR has an absolutely amazing way of doing this, and we have a action which is navigate to from TrippleR, and this is an action which you can dispatch which will allow you to navigate. So say for instance we're using the connect tool, and if you're not, you should, which once again is just part of Redux. We can add a method called nav2, and in here what we can do is we can do something as simple as dispatch navigate to location. And now when we call this method with a location that you want to navigate to, like the contact or the about us page, that will raise an action which will be dispatched and sent to Microsoft. And at that point, you will be navigated away to that page, and that information will be stored in Redux within your state. So if you're ever replaying anything, if you're using the Chrome development tools, that will actually replay, and the screen will change. The viewport or the browser or whatever you want to call it will actually move as you're moving through state and moving over state in time, as they like to call it. Now, ReactRouter has this thing called links. Now, I love you guys over at ReactRouter, but links stink. They've already got an anchor tag in them. They've got stuff that you can't change. if you're not very good at CSS